We think this is the biggest change to measurement and to the TV currency in at least the last decade. So there's a lot here. So first, what we're doing is for the first time, we're bringing smart TV data and return path data from set-top boxes into the actual national TV currency ratings. So that is a fundamental part of this and a big change for us. And then the second part, and what that enables, is it enables us to measure addressable campaigns. And so we're working with Vizio and Project OR. We're working with our own advanced video advertising group. We're working with DirecTV and Xandr, as well as Dish, to bring their data sets in as part of our core rating service, along with our panel. Ratings, but also to measure the addressable campaigns that they will serve. And what this really unlocks, and why I think this is the biggest change in at least the last decade, is it really kind of unlocks the C3, C7 inventory. So it allows those providers that we're certifying to, insert, addressable ads in the actual live linear ad load in the future. And why Nielsen is unique in that, and why no one else can really do that in an accurate way, Andy, is it allows us to not only measure those addressable campaigns, but allows us to also do the underlying math so that the linear currency numbers are still correct. And so when we've spent time in the market with networks and agencies, we've heard that loud and clear, that if in the future, addressable wants to come into those 14 minutes per hour that are typically reserved for C3, C7, then Nielsen needs to not only measure the addressable, but do the underlying reconciliation of that currency number as well. And so that's kind of the second big part of the change here.
And what's the role of panels in this scenario, the traditional panels?
It continues to be extremely critical for us. So there's two different ways we're still using the panel. So number one, for all of those data sets that we're bringing in, so the smart TV data, the return path data from set-top boxes, we use the panels to model demographics. So we have different AI machine learning models that we've built over the years that help us ascribe the actual audience. So these numbers get to the actual person's level. So we go beyond household, this gets to persons. The other thing we use the panel for is to correct for data anomalies that we see in smart TV data and set-top box data. So that data is not perfect in isolation. It's great for scale. Obviously, it's got great utility, and that's where we're leveraging it. But we really think the best methodology is to leverage, the panel accuracy to make corrections on the data with the smart TV and set-top box data that we're bringing in. Because what I'm able to do is actually look at specific panel homes that have smart TVs, that have these set-top boxes, and line up the actual viewing events that no one else can do right now. And then the other reason, or the other role of the panel beyond how it calibrates and assigns demographics to big data, is it's used to measure the rest of the universe. So still have to measure over the air. That's still critically important to the ratings, obviously. And then other data sources, other cable providers that are not in the first wave of integration. So the panel is still going to be used in a big way, and it's why we continue to invest in it going forward.
And finally, Scott, what is the prospect for addressability? In other words, and how do you see it rolling out, and the utility of this solution? I mean, we've been talking about addressability kind of early on around the 2 minutes of the commercial break for the MVPDs, and it's much more than that now. And we hear a lot about programmers, linear programming. So, in preparing this product and launching, you must have sort of a roadmap or a sort of an expectation, thoughts about where addressable TV will go in 12 months?
Yeah, absolutely. So, addressable TV is growing to your point. But it's mostly been limited to those 2 minutes per hour. And that's why we're so excited about this. We think that the big domino that's gonna eventually fall is that now that we're unlocking those 14 minutes per hour, now the landscape is of opportunity for growth is much wider. So we're giving networks and agencies the opportunity to have much more scale if they so choose, while still having the accuracy of the underlying linear currency. So we think that this is the most significant thing that Nielsen can do to allow the market to choose how quickly it wants to grow, so that this data can be monetized in a similar currency has been monetized up to this point. Now, in terms of your question about the roadmap, what comes next, and the timing. So the first half of 2021 is when we begin, sharing a couple of key data points with the industry. Number one is showing the industry what do the ratings themselves look like when you include smart TV and set-top boxes. The second thing we begin doing is measuring campaigns that run outside of those 14 minutes. So we'll start to show the market, show our customers, what does the actual measurement of the addressable campaigns look like in the 2 minutes per hour and in DR promo time. And then ultimately, once we go through an MRC audit, because again, this is a currency solution here. Once we go through an MRC audit and provide the market with sufficient data to understand this massive change, how does it change our numbers? Then we'll look to roll it into the national currency thereafter.